missed you too.
You were gone for so long.
Yeah.
Like a million years.
I know, but I'm back.
Let me just look at you.
Better than ever. Episode 268.
Feeling okay. Just,
We're feeling okay.
Yeah.
And it's okay to be okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It is okay to be just okay.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
We're here. We're queer.
Get used to it.
We have nothing to say besides like platitudes today. We should just do like cliches for the whole.
Well,
hey guys,
bird
look
in a
before
hand
you leave.
is worth two in the bush.
Bird in the hand.
Isn't that one?
Yeah, it is. It's just funny that you were ready with one and I was too. I said look before you leave. Don't judge a book by its cover.
Never do.
You guys.
Right.
You shouldn't. Does anyone have a podcast like that? Someone should.
Yeah, where it's just like, what if you could do that? Just like only speak in cliches.
Or like if you did one per episode that you just like
like
debate.
unpacked.
Yeah.
That would be fun. Is a bird in the hand really worth more? What is the cost of this bird compared to the ones in the bush?
Some of them I don't get. And
like
that used to be one of them.
Where
I'd
get
be
that.
like,
I totally get that.
I get
one.
it now, but as a kid, I'd be like, what are you saying to me about birds and value?
You know what? Which one took me a while is there's something about like a nail that sticks out getting hammered down, or something like about a nail getting hammered down, or or I don't know.
And what's the message of it?
I can't. That's the part I don't remember. Whether it's either is it like you stick out and then you get hammered down, or like you shouldn't and. I can't remember what it is. Clearly, like, the message was lost on me.
Right.
Yeah.
That maybe we could do a segment of like, because that would be fun. Origins of.
Oh, I would love. Oh, I learned a really cool one about candles. That's not really like, it's just like an origin story for like why we do something.
Okay.
Okay, so we blow candles out on our birthday.
Yeah.
It's like a ritual whole thing, and like everybody's like,
it's
you
gross.
hate it.
It's
you
gross.
think it's so weird.
It's germy.
It is germy, but the what that comes from is like making a wish and setting an intention. So the candle represents like the elements of the earth. It's like the wax is like the earth, and the fire is like the candle, and the water is like melt when the wax drips, like represents the water, and the air is of course like the flame that you light it with, and like when the smoke blows. So it's like represents all the elements, and then you set your intention, you make your wish, and then you blow it out. And it was said that when you blow it out, the smoke travels up to the gods, and it sends your wish up into heaven or up to the gods so that they can hear it.
This is made up.
No, it's not. That's like the what? Well, yeah, it was made up, and they were like, we should do that every year, and then we all keep doing it. So it's basically like we're all.
Do you like that explanation? You seem like you're real into it.
I just think it's cool to find out like why we do, because like why the heck do we blow candles out on our birthday?
Good point.
So if you trace that all the way back, it goes back to like old rituals for celebrating.
Okay, I see why you like that.
Yeah, and I like finding out why we do those things that we do.
The part that gets me, though, is why it would need to represent all of the elements of the earth.
I think it's, if you look back in
they just love that shit.
Yeah, ancient cultures are like, that's really what's important. It's like we got the earth, we got the sky, we got the fire, all that stuff. So like everything is based on all that stuff.
Right. To me, it feels like it's just because they didn't have like the fun stuff that we have now. So they have to rely on
like balloons?
Kind of.
And sprinkles and cupcakes?
Yeah, confetti.
Yeah, right. They're like, what's great? Earth. Water and earth and air.
Being alive and not dead.
Yeah, right.
Like, that's just all it was. Yeah. So basic. Yep. But we stuck with it.
I know, we did. So that's the cool part. It's like something about that had to like click with people and felt good. And, I'm all about like the setting your intention. It's essentially what, like you look into the science of it that, we know now of like, we've talked about this on previous podcasts about the things that we know lead to happiness is like practicing gratitude, kind acts towards others, and envisioning your best future self. So a wish essentially is envisioning something like the best future self that you'd like. And it's like putting that intention out there. So it's really just creating a ritual around an intention.
Yeah.
Which is really good.
Totally. I just wish it wasn't on my cake.
Right.
I really.
Right.
If they
we
just
should do like a side
it,
candle.
Totally.
Okay, let's do this.
Let's do
From now on, if you come to my house for a birthday party, we're having get that menorah out.
Menorah.
And we'll just like do some math and multiplication for like blow out 4 and 8. We'll light it again and somehow get to the number that we are.
That is what would get me on board.
Okay,
I love everything you're saying about intention, ritual,
you don't
tradition,
like
even. But I don't like your garbage breath and spit on the cake.
Fair enough.
And
I'm
supposed to eat.
Yeah, why did we put it on the cake?
Yeah, that's what
There's the missing link there. So I get it, but like, when did we introduce the cake? And then when we were like, oh, you know what we should do?
Yeah,
put these little sticks of wax all over something we're about to consume.
This is what I'm saying.
Okay,
You got. Thank you.
I feel ya.
You connected the dots.
Totally. I am with you on this one. There are some missing pieces. Yup.
Missing pieces of cake.
Yeah.
But after you eat your cake, I recommend brushing your teeth with Quip.
Yes.
I cannot.
After you eat anything.
Well, yeah, good point.
But cake
Sarah.
is
particularly troublesome.
Cake. Yeah.
Quip is the toothbrush that Sarah and I use, and now my son and my husband do as well. And it is so different from all the other toothbrushes you have, whether they're manual or electric, those bulky, ugly ones, because it's sleek, it mounts to your mirror, and the mount that you use, you can pop right off to clean the mirror, or if you're traveling, like I've been traveling recently, you just put it on as like a cap.
Love that.
Protects you from those disgusting germs. 2-in-1. There's different colors you can choose as well, so it will match your bathroom even.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. I just picked my favorite.
Right.
What was I
That's what I saw. I thought the same thing.
Oh, and you know what? The bronze one would have totally gone with my bathroom.
You blew it out like a
I'll
candle.
Get another one. Landon, I got a toothbrush for you.
And they send you refills of the heads every 3 months, like the dentist recommend. And you clean. It's this whole process. And toothpaste.
Yes, and the best toothpaste.
So you never have to remember. Right. And I genuinely love it. I know you guys will too. And 20,000 dental professionals agree. What do you want? 20,001. I like saying that every time. Quip starts at $25, and if you go to getquip.com/braincandy, get your first refill pack for free with a Quip electric toothbrush. That's your first refill pack for free at QUIP.com/braincandy. And the refills are only $5 anyway. So like whenever those come, it's super affordable. I love it.
Yeah. Oh, that's good price.
Yeah, it really is. Sarah doesn't even know. I love this about you.
I'm on auto pay, so I don't really notice things.
I know.
Right.
Let me tell you a story about that.
Oh, please.
I think I already mentioned this, but it's worth re-mentioning. That my bank accidentally sent my landlord the check twice.
Oh, yeah.
And I still can't get over it.
I wouldn't either. And he was like, guess I just got double the money.
Yeah, he didn't tell me. And then I think, well, maybe he didn't notice. Because I feel like a lot of people don't even...
Well, I would notice $1,000 extra bucks. Or not more than that, obviously. But
California rent is noticeable to come through twice.
Yeah.
And I was like...
I know you pay more than $1,000.
Well, whatever. Whatever a person pays,
an
if you have to pay your rent twice, either I should have noticed quicker or he should have. Somebody was missing it. But I guess that's the danger because, me and you both agree, automated is a lot easier.
Super.
But pay attention. Good Lord.
Yeah.
You got to be smarter than your bank, apparently, too. Okay. So...
Tell me some exciting things, Suze.
Okay. Well...
What?
I was wondering if you got... Because when I was in Pittsburgh, I got a lot of feedback about the show.
Oh.
And that... Because I don't usually surround myself with humans, so I don't... Especially ones that
just
I
me,
know.
And I know how I feel about the show. I love it.
We agree. 2 thumbs up. But so that was fun for me to hear, my one friend, Matt Neroni, who I talk about all the time, was talking about how, we find a way every time to make stuff about, the patriarchy. Which I know.
Who, I wonder, is leading that?
Well, that's what he was wondering, because he was referring to when we told the gender reveal story about the fire.
So funny. You're like, it's the patriarchy.
Well, because I think at one point in the story... I said, did they reveal what it was? And you were like, I don't think they did. And I'm like, I bet it was a boy. He goes, were you joking? Or he can't tell whether I'm trying to wind you up.
Probably a little bit of both.
Right. I think he's right. That there's a sense of how can I get a reaction from Sarah?
Oh my gosh. You should see me in class. I'm always like, white people. Oh, men.
But
I love both of them. Everybody's great. Whatever.
Yeah. But I think since you started your witchiness.
Totally.
Which you look especially witchy today.
Oh, thanks.
Like sexy witch.
Oh, thanks.
Because it's like a black, is that velour velvet dress, and then like 3 gold chains that she probably cast spells on.
Totally.
And then like I feel like you're more easily wound up lately. What's that about?
Oh, I don't know if I'm easily wound up. I feel like it's almost the opposite. I'm like less wound up.
My mom said that about me. She's like, you seem
see
so
bigger
calm.
picture.
I'm like, I'm just sad all the time. I'm not calm, lady.
Oh, I feel more like in the flow with life and like less anxiety.
Oh, that's so good.
Way less. And like I've been able to really realize, like doing a lot of work on just like practicing mindfulness and meditation and things like that, and recognizing that thoughts are just thoughts, and that we can kind of say, our brain, like us, can say, yeah, thank you for giving me that thought right now, but I'm not really going to, that's just a thought. And we're kind of separate. And that's a really hard concept for people to kind of wrap their head around, because it feels like everything's like real in our head. But really, it's like our brain's job to say, what about this? What about this? What about this? What about this? To keep us safe.
Okay, here's what I want to know then. Do you think you're unusual in that you have more thoughts maybe than others? Or like, do you think everybody...
I think anybody who experiences some sort of anxiety knows that thought. I call it like a thought train, where all of a sudden you'll get one and it'll take off. And that one thought will lead to another. It almost is like kind of catastrophizing, or there's kind of like different names for it, or different, it's kind of like a cognitive behavioral therapy thing, where these automatic thoughts we have that just pop into our head. And they're kind of like...
Are they
worst
about
case
you?
scenarios sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, and for everyone it's different. You know, sometimes it's just like we have a feeling inside of us where maybe we're nervous about, a date we have that night, or nervous about a test coming up. And rather than being able to say, oh, I'm really nervous about this test right now, what do I need to do to like reduce that? I know, I'll study for a little while. We go, oh my God, I'm so nervous. Why do I feel so nervous? I know, maybe my house is going to burn down. And like assign that feeling to something that it's not, and then your brain just takes off. And if you can kind of like reel it back in and say, wait a sec, what's really happening here?
Yeah.
What are the chances of that? You know, kind of like be in control.
Yeah.
And then it's like freedom.
That's really good advice.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I say wound up, I don't mean like you're manicky.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I just mean like, on the air, at least, I can say stuff, and you are right there.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, have the funniest or whatever.
Well, that is a fact. That is true.
Like, it really is.
Yeah.
And what is that?
Well,
is that your ADHD, but, like, the best
Yes.
version?
I think it's because I started taking medication.
I love it.
Yeah. I love it, too. It feels like all those other, like, not voices, but all those other thoughts are... quieter. They're not there.
Oh, that's good.
I kind of say it's like for the first time, it felt like before I had a teenage driver driving my brain who was like distracted and had the radio on real loud and didn't know where they were going and was looking at their phone and texting and like switching lanes without the blinker and in rush hour traffic. And now I feel like I've got a stunt driver in there who's got his eyes on the road and always anticipates the turns, and it just feels like I'm like coasting.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I can really feel it.
Great.
Yeah, so I'm like cool, calm, and collected, but also, you know, got my mind in a
I love that.
free place to be able to answer.
Be hilarious.
Yeah, you know, or at least try.
Yeah. Well, okay. I have so many things to tell you because I haven't seen you.
Oh my God, tell me everything.
Well, first of all, have we talked about, I don't think we did because you would definitely remember this, the woman who was shackled and rang the doorbell at somebody's house.
Oh my gosh, I remember hearing this like in the news or something.
She was shackled and like they had one of those doorbell cams.
Yeah.
And so it's like you can see her in the video and like I guess it was the middle of the night and they didn't get to the door in time and so she shuffled off.
Yeah.
And then they, you know, I think there was like a hunt, like who was this woman? And they reported it to the police, of course. And then by the time the police found her, which they found her safe, but the person who had done it to her had killed himself. And it was her boyfriend.
Oh.
And like, Can you imagine
No.
if you looked at
Shackled.
Right. Right? Because I saw a still of the video and I thought, oh my
I think
heavens.
I saw the clip of the video. Like she
Yeah.
runs up to the door and then like she's there like for a and then runs.
She probably just ran
Oh my
away
God, I
from
get
him,
chills.
but had to like quickly get back or something. But like, let's say you got a doorbell in the middle of the night. What would you do?
Oh my God, I would be so terrified.
Right?
I would. Well, oh
Would
my
you,
God.
like,
But you know what? Then I would think
answer?
it would be a real emergency. Like I'm definitely getting up and running down there, but I'm coming down with a baseball bat or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I used to keep I should probably still keep this by my bed. I had like one of those big mag lights with the D batteries.
Oh,
They're
yeah,
like the
yeah,
flashlights
yeah.
that are
Yeah.
heavy as
Those
crap.
are smart. Yeah.
That is a weapon.
Well, this is actually a great transition because those doorbell.
I know. I was just thinking.
Yeah, the doorbell security cams that you can get. Ring has an amazing version. And we have one at our house. We have cameras at our house for safety. And just, really, like while I was away, I could even poke in. And I watched my kid and my husband carve pumpkins while I was away.
That's so cute.
And I could talk through it and everything.
I love that.
But yeah, you can get these and they can attach to your doorbell. And that way, if you have like a package delivery or something and you just want to say, oh, leave the package or let them know whatever. And you get an alert on your phone and everything. It's super cool. And basically, it's HD video and two-way audio on all the Ring devices. And for our listeners, they have a special offer on a Ring starter kit available right now with a video doorbell and motion-activated floodlight cam. It's kind of like your flashlight technique, but automatic.
Yep.
The starter kit has everything you need to start building a ring of security around your home. Go to ring.com/braincandy. That's ring.com/braincandy. I mean, and I suppose that's what these people had is this method to, see who was at the door, and it was recorded, and so then they could send it to the police, and the police could see the woman as well. It's really helpful.
Oh my God, did you see the story about the young African-American kid who came up to the guy's front door and he opened it up with a frickin' shotgun, and all the kid was doing was looking for directions home, and he was wearing a backpack, and he was like doing absolutely nothing, and he could have been killed. And that guy said, he tried to say, the guy who fired on him tried to say that he tripped and that's why the gun went off. The video shows absolutely none of that, and he's definitely going to jail.
Did he hit the kid?
No, thank God. The mom was being interviewed, and she's like, I can't even watch it because it's like watching my son almost be murdered.
That is horrifying.
She's like, I can't. I almost saw it once, and I could never see it again. Well, so sad.
So
Poor kid.
Was this in daylight?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like right after school at like 3:00.
That's insane.
And he's wearing a backpack.
Right. So the kid rings the doorbell.
Yeah.
The guy answers the door.
Yeah.
And
he comes to the door, I think, with the gun. Or
I can't.
I can't either. Could you imagine?
Yes, because I think a lot of people have those sort of knee-jerk reactions when they see a person of color.
It makes me so angry.
It makes me so angry. And even, let's say you had that moment of like, I'm scared. Well, then your brain, your whatever front brain or whatever, the non
reptilian one
part kicks in and is like, wait, why?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go get the door and not be a total crazy person.
Yeah.
And that guy's going to go to jail for like assault or something.
No, I think it's attempted like manslaughter.
Okay, good.
I mean, you fire a gun aimed at someone.
I know, but they might say...
Oh, it's on his property or some bullshit like that?
Yeah, that whole thing.
Oh, God. I don't know. We'll see.
Okay.
But,
wow.
we'll have to follow up on that one.
That's disturbing.
That pissed me off to see that anybody would have an excuse like that.
Want to hear a disturbing story about how I went home because my dad was sick, of course.
Yeah.
And as a lot of people know from my Instagram, my dad passed away. But I was going to Pittsburgh for the Pitt event. Mm-hmm. And then I got a call that my dad, who's been sick for a while, was foregoing any further dialysis, which, means party's over. And so I needed to get home real quick. So I changed my flight, and that was all I wanted was like, just make it in time. Mm-hmm. And like I don't know why. Like, I don't know what that is.
Oh, you want to be there, of course.
I know, but it's like, you wonder why. Because it's not as if we could interact. He was sedated.
Yeah, but I think it's that feeling of, like, knowing deep down there would be some regret.
Yeah, like, I needed to get there.
Don't like that. Nobody does.
And so it was really important to me to make it there on time. So I flew straight there and took an Uber to his hospice. And, like, this is midnight. And so I go in, and my aunt is there, and she doesn't get along with my mom. You know how, like, these things like this are, like, dysfunction central, right?
They sure are.
And so, but, like,
God, they sure are.
whatever. Like, she's staying there with him. She's not going home. She's sleeping on the couch and stuff. But she let me in and then gave me, like, a few minutes where I could be with him. And, like, that was great because we like the same music. So I played the music we like. And I was just talking about, like, poker and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like, the stuff I knew he would respond when I talk about Lincoln. And so it was this really good, positive experience. And, like, I was being funny, and he responded when I was being funny.
That's great.
And everybody has different relationships with their parents. So it's like some people would probably say, like, really sweet things. We're not like that. So that's not what I was going to do. He would have been, like, so annoyed if I had been like, Dad, dear Dad, I want to tell you. So I just was talking to him like I normally would.
Which is exactly what people want.
Yeah. So I think, like I said to you, it is well with my soul. Like, that felt like, okay, this was exactly what I wanted. And then I texted my sister who was out in the hall. I was like, you can come back in. She came back in, but my aunt came with her. And, like, she started this monologue about our family and stuff.
Now, is this your mom's sister or your dad's sister?
My dad's sister.
Okay, got it.
And she went on. And then I thought, okay, if she wants to talk, like, we can talk. Okay. And I started asking her stuff. And eventually it became clear that not only does she hate my mom, she hates me and my 4 siblings.
No, right there in that room?
There.
Are you kidding?
And you know
it really does bring out
totally.
the worst.
And you know how we always talk about when you're in a fight with somebody, like I was next to my dad with my sister sitting by his bed holding his hand, and she was standing above him. You know, that distance in height where they're like, she was like the Grim Reaper overseer is basically what was going on. Yeah. And she didn't like that I was, like, challenging her about things. You know, she wanted to do a monologue, and I made it a dialogue, and that's a problem. And long story short, she had me kicked out of hospice.
No! Get out of town! That's messed up! Okay. What on earth could have happened where...
Well,
that is the...
you know how, like, when someone's challenging you intellectually, but then all you have left is, in her words, power of attorney? That's how the Pittsburghers would say it.
Yeah.
She could allow whoever she wanted in the room. And so instead of having the conversation, she kicked me out.
That's messed up.
But I
am sorry that you got kicked out.
Yeah, it's not a pleasant
but
thing.
Also, like, put it on the resume because that's kind of cool.
It's like the most Pittsburgh Yinzer white trash experience of my life. And that is saying something because I have quite a few. But, like...
Susie speaks her mind in all places.
Later, I'll tell you some of the greatest hits from the conversation because I was on a roll.
Wait.
And Gretchen, my sister, is way nicer than me, and she sat there for a while in silence, and then she was like, "I guess we're doing this." And
I can hear her saying that.
So trashy.
Can you give me a subject that was a thread through the story?
Well, just that she was saying that I wasn't a good daughter. That was the argument that was being made. And then she was like, you just called him when it was about money. I'm like, I was calling to give him money, not
about
ask
his
for
own
money.
So yeah. And what?
It's so fucked up, Sarah. If you had, I wish there was a video.
That is backwards.
And then I was like, it's fine, Aunt Patty. The good news is you can put this in the Meister Gazette tomorrow because now that Dad's gone, you're the town crier. And this is going to make the front page.
That's a good one.
And she was like, don't mock me. And then and then when she went out and had me kicked out, she came back in and she goes, gather your things. You're out of here. No, I am not lying. This is hilarious, but so sad. But I just 3 hours later, my dad's dead, and I'm like, I cannot believe that is like what he had to hear. Although he probably would have thought it was funny.
Yeah, I was going to say it seems like kind of like fits your dad's story of like
definitely
his life.
Thought it was funny, and it's like sad that it happened, but I'm like, lady, I fight for a living. I don't know who you think you're dealing with here.
Right.
Gretchen and I got back in the car afterwards. She was like,
guess we're doing
well,
this.
that didn't go very well.
She is like the voice inside. Like she's exactly where my mind is.
I mean, God bless.
Man,
it's
I am sorry that you had to go through that.
Like,
but happy that you have some interesting stories to hold on and memories that you can laugh about at many Thanksgivings to come.
Like, in all seriousness, of course, that was a terrible experience. But, like, when, you have to be able to laugh at these things.
Have to.
What I don't laugh at, though, is when somebody buys something from me on Poshmark. I don't laugh at all. You know why? Because I'm super
laughing
psyched.
all the way to the bank, maybe.
Poshmark, who has joined? Has everyone joined yet? It's an app. Put it on your phone. They have clothes that you can buy.
Got my Halloween costume on there.
Did you?
Yep.
The witch outfit.
Yep.
That's
really
so cool.
Badass, sexiest witch dress you have ever seen in your whole entire life.
And did you get a bargain?
A bargain.
She made an offer. That's the thing. You can make an offer if you don't want to pay what they are asking. You can see if they'll accept what you're willing to pay. Mm-hmm. And our listeners can get a deal if you sign up and use the referral code I'm Sarah Rice, which is also the name of Sarah's Closet. If you want to find what she's selling, you'll get $5 off your first purchase. You can even get lots of stuff for $5. I got this cashmere J. Crew beanie.
Oh,
like for winter.
Yeah.
For $5. Cashmere.
Oh.
Thank you.
It took me a sec. I was like, wait a sec. Ooh, cashmere. That looks so good even from far away. You could tell it's cashmere.
I know.
I love cashmere like that.
Yeah.
Well done.
So you can get a lot of stuff. You can also sell a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
My tip I wanted to tell you is, I think it's mostly women's stuff, but you can get men's and kids. I've gotten great deals on kids stuff because I think not a lot of people search there for it. And I bought Lincoln a bunch of Under Armour stuff.
Oh, cool.
Really cheap, like $5. Seriously, again, like $5, which if you use our code I'm Sarah Rice, you can get $5 off. My closet is Susie Meister, and hers is I'm Sarah Rice. Okay. Anyway, I didn't mean to dominate with my
I love it. These are
deathbed tales.
These are great stories, and I want to hear all about it.
But no, was the essence. You get the idea. Yeah. It's perfect for Halloween, really.
Right.
Maybe my dad will haunt me. I don't know.
Ooh, that would. Hey, you got to set up a little Dia de los Muertos ofrenda for him.
What's ofrenda?
An ofrenda.
Oh, the offering.
It's like, it's a little, table, and they've got like little layers, and you put the picture up there of them, and you put some little water out and some food out, and like it's a whole thing.
I'll just put like a pack of Pall Malls and
there you go.
What else?
And then you put some like mirrors
donuts.
at the top to like I don't know. There's like a whole thing to it. Some marigolds.
My sister said that he found Jesus there at the end.
Really?
I think that it feels real good for them to believe that. Okay. So I don't know if it's true or not. But that's what she said.
When my grandma was like, swore up and down she was an atheist her whole life. Then when she was the month before she passed away, maybe even a little bit more.
Yeah.
She would, there were multiple times where she would wake up in the middle of the night and she said that she saw a man dressed in all white who was sitting on the edge of her bed.
Oh, wow.
And so real to her that she got up and went and looked through the whole place, like looked through her little apartment, little room to see like where did he go. And she like talked to the people who worked there about it, talked to my mom about it, and she's like he came like 5 nights, something like that.
Wow. Did she say that made her believe or anything, you think?
No, she just was like, she didn't really, I think maybe deep down she did have some like knowledge of something, but
I forget who it is that said nobody's an atheist on their deathbed. Somebody
something
said that.
like that, where it was just interesting that she had this experience and like was not one who.
Yeah, she wasn't prone to believe
not
in things
at
like
all.
that. Well, after they started saying my dad came to Christ at the end, I told Adam, I'm like, look, when I die, don't let them go around spreading this narrative because it will really ruin my brand. Yeah. But I know that happens a lot where I don't know whether it's real or someone who
and
knows.
It really feels good for the people who are left sticking around because my grandma said the last thing, her like last words were "Look for me in the birds."
Oh, right. And then the friggin' birds
was in my house with all the windows shut, all the doors shut the morning after she died.
Yeah,
and I was like, what
really
is that
cool.
noise? And I was alone by myself at the house.
That's so cool.
And there was a bird sitting on my banister that I then caught and put outside.
That is the best.
And I'm like, what is that? I mean, I can't explain that. I don't know. I mean, I have no idea.
Well, and who needs to explain
I don't need,
it?
yeah, I don't. I mean, I've given up trying and it's more fun to just not. So
it really is. And like, even
grandma.
if it's like just that a bird got in your house, that's
Still.
like an interesting thing. And it was important to you. It's lovely.
Yeah.
Whatever the case is.
You want to hear what else is kind of not, I don't know if it's
Not
lovely.
lovely? Yeah,
but
what?
maybe more like, some Black Mirror future shit.
Yeah, you're into that.
Yeah, well, I'm into like neuroscience and what they're doing now.
Okay, well.
So, I'll tell you, there are a couple stories. They're all kind of building on each other because these studies are happening at universities all across the country. So these EEGs, the machines that they are like a skull cap and they have a bunch of little electrodes. Electroencephalogram, I believe is the full name for it.
Yeah.
But they have like all these little white clips that clip to the head and they read brain waves and things like that. So University of Washington, researchers at the University of Washington hooked up two people a mile apart to these EEG machines and had them play 20 questions.
Okay.
Where, as in, like, one person thinks of something and then, like, 20 questions, like, I'm thinking of an animal.
Wait, before you go on.
Yeah.
So one has it on their head and the other has it on their head.
Yes.
And then how are they connected?
They're connected to some machine, like they're giving the information to a machine that then is rerouting that information to the other EEG machine.
Okay.
So, and I believe there's some sort of like magnetic stimulation involved as well in this. But they're basically like transmitting their thoughts into this computer that is then transmitting the other person's thoughts to the other person.
Okay.
And they stimulate a certain part of the brain that creates these things called phospheres, which are basically like those, if you get, like when you see stars, those little lights that you see are phospheres. So they're lights that are like, these little like light things that only you can see. Mm-hmm. All right. So when they play this game of 20 questions, they stimulate that part of the brain for the phospheres for the receiver person, the person who's the one picking the item. And then the person asking thinks yes or they think no. And based on what they think, if they think yes, then a phosphere will appear in the receiver's frame of vision. If they think no, nothing will appear.
Why?
So, like, they had to do something where you can tell, like, a yes-no answer. So, like, it has to read in the brain. Like, that's how they're doing it. Like, receiving information is the only way that researchers have thought of so far is to create some sort of light that says it's, like, really like a yes-no right now. It's kind of like how, the basic, how it's like ones and zeros, like binary code is all like yes-no thing. It's kind of like that for your brain.
And did they make it that way as far as the lights in your head, or that's just naturally what yes and no do?
No, they made it do that.
Okay.
So they stimulate. So they like set it up. I do not know what the research, how they do that.
Okay.
But basically, they set it up so that a yes answer is connected to an electrode that will stimulate the phosphate, or is that phosphere to show in the other person's frame of vision.
Okay.
So they're a mile apart playing this 20 questions game and getting it right every time.
That is so weird.
Isn't that crazy? And now they've taken it to another level where they're having them play a game of Tetris. And they'll have people connected to these electrodes, and they'll say either rotate or don't rotate. Rotate the brick and rotate the brick. 81.25% accuracy.
Wow.
In completing the game of Tetris.
Wow.
Playing with two people over a mile apart.
What's the end game here? Like, what do you think we can do with this?
Well, that's the really cool part is so some of these neuropsychologists are looking at, and neuroscientists are looking at ways to use this to connect healthy brains to stroke-damaged brains to stimulate that part of the brain to start producing messages again. So if the person who has the stroke-damaged brain has that like a dead area almost of no activity in the brain, you can connect their brain with this EEG machine to the brain of a healthy person, like theoretically in the future after a lot of fine-tuning. And that healthy brain can start thinking of things in that same region and lighting up those parts of the brain and making the brain that's damaged to start to light up too.
Wow.
To it's almost like
That's
neuroplasticity,
exciting.
how if you keep using that, it'll keep strengthening those muscles. And we're just seeing this over and over and over where this research of if you keep stimulating certain areas of the brain, you can strengthen it and make connections. And we know all this to be.
It's like physical therapy, but for the brain.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is so promising and really exciting.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, right? It's not just it's Black Mirror, but for good stuff.
Well, another way to stretch your brain is to learn a second language.
Yes.
And I have recently decided I wanted to try to learn more Spanish so that I could talk to Teresa. Oh, yeah, you told me that a few months ago.
Yes, we should do this together.
Yes.
What do I need to do?
Well, there is this great method called Pimsleur. Dr. Pimsleur created a special way to teach language. It's not a language game app. You don't learn to speak a new language by matching images and words and things like that. It's by conversing.
Yeah,
so
that's
it's
how you do it.
Interactive and training your ears to understand native speakers, which was always my problem.
Yeah.
Doing something in the classroom was one thing, but then when we went to Brazil, that felt this was nothing like when I tried to learn
That is what you said a lot.
Yeah. So this method I find to be really fun and exciting, and I'm getting started now to try Spanish, which I have a foundation because I learned it in high school, but you know how that is. And according to the system, and I will report back, you can reach an intermediate level in 30 days.
Get out of town. I'm doing it.
She's sold.
Yep. By Christmas.
And that is really exciting that it doesn't take that long.
30 days. I mean, come on.
Yeah, you commit to 30 minutes a day, and you got to say the stuff, and they say it to you, and that's how you learn. But don't take my word for it. Give it a try. Try the full course absolutely free for 7 days, risk-free. You don't have to lose anything by trying, but you have everything to gain, a new language. Yes. How cool is that? A new perspective, a better understanding of other cultures, and listeners of Brain Candy can go to PIMSpeaks.com/brain candy. That's PIM speaks.com/brain-candy for that 7-day trial. And I'm just really excited.
Yeah.
Because you spend all that time learning these things in high school.
Yeah.
And then for what?
Time to
I can't even
reactivate your left temporal cortex.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
My left temporal cortex is sad and wants to talk to Teresa.
Yeah.
And I think that it would be really fun. Adam took Lincoln to, if you live in this area, it's called the Rhodium. Huh. It's like one of those swap meet type places.
Oh, cool.
In near where we live. And he wanted to find Legos. And Lincoln was doing the talking because a lot of the vendors are Spanish.
That's amazing.
And he was talking to them, do you have Legos? How much are they? And I'm like, get a video.
Right now. Did you get a video?
No, he's like, we just left.
Plus, Lincoln, knowing him, would stop as soon as you put the camera up there.
Yeah, loser. But I was like, that's a gift. And it's really something that we could all do if we wanted to.
Yep.
And I want to.
We should.
That's what I'm going to
I
try.
live in California.
Yeah, right. And I mean, different areas have different foreign populations.
Yeah.
But like a lot of people are learning Mandarin now, things like that, because it's practical.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm into it. Okay, what else? Did I interrupt you? Probably.
No. Well,
oh, you were talking about stroke things.
Yeah.
Did you get feedback from anybody about 3 Identical Strangers? I've been hearing a lot of people watched it because of us and are like,
they love it.
Holy smokes.
Yeah. It really lives up to, like, that's what they're saying. Oh my gosh, you were so right. And then some.
Then Emily Lewis,
Yeah.
she sent me an article from like the 80s when this all began.
Yeah.
It turns out, the plot thickens, they were actually quadruplets and the one died at birth or whatever.
No!
Yes!
Oh my God.
Right? Even more insane.
Because then there's always a missing piece. Oh, and you need to know that to heal that part. They probably always feel incomplete.
Right?
Dude,
Sarah's dying all over again.
I am.
Well, you got to see the movie if you haven't yet. It's for rent on iTunes and Amazon Prime. It's like $4. It's so worth it.
It is. And you know what? I was watching that movie when I was kind of having this whole like aha moment about life and about nature versus nurture and how much we can change and what we should focus on and what is the good in this world. And it just made everything like come together. And I'm like, okay.
Right?
I see the big picture now.
Right. And
Everybody
like,
just relax and love each other.
then somebody else pointed out, and it sort of must have just gone over my head at the time that I watched it, because there was so many elements you could focus on.
So many.
That particular adoption agency was for Jewish folks.
Yes.
So like these experiments were specifically being performed on Jewish folks, which to me is even more disturbing for the obvious historical.
Right. Well, that's what they were saying in the film too.
They mentioned it, that they were Jewish and blah, blah, but I didn't put the dots together with like what happened in World War II and the experiments. Oh yeah, you're right. They mentioned that particular
because the doctor who was doing it was a survivor. Either his family was a survivor
You're so right.
of the Holocaust, but there was something in there, and that's even like a thing where
yes, it's a thing
where if you were like the one, the same way as like the one who's bullied becomes the bully.
Yeah,
I think it fits into that kind of maybe I don't know theory.
Right. So that was fascinating. Once I was reminded of that element, I was like, wait,
Man.
yeah, that's even more bizarre.
Right.
Did you read about how Sears is like, folding?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm noticing it. I've always got like, it looks like a swap
You're
meet.
like, this is old news.
Yeah. They're like shutting down all over the place. And then I was like, don't they just sell tires now?
Right. And like, to me, it was sort of like that, where it's like, well, yeah, I mean, they've been replaced. And then you're seeing all these articles about how like they were the Amazon of before there was Amazon.
Yeah. They had everything, Sears, but like.
Well, like, I would say even up until my childhood in the 80s, you'd get the Sears catalog and it was a big deal. And what I didn't know, and thanks to like the historians on Twitter that do those threads where you learn a lot, I learned about how way, way, way back in the early 20th century, early to mid, that going shopping was a very difficult thing for people of color to do, because shop owners didn't want you to buy their stuff. They wanted you out of the store. And so like to get stuff was hard. And so Sears created a mail order system where
They created that?
Yeah, like it was them.
I didn't know
That's
that.
why like they're the Amazon before Amazon.
I totally didn't know that.
Yeah, so this Sears catalog
Okay, I get
started
it.
to be distributed, and that way people of color were able to purchase what they needed without having to go to an actual brick and mortar store.
Wow.
And then a lot of times let me think how this went. The post office was connected to, I don't know, I guess stores that were competing with Sears, and they were convincing the post office not to give people of color the mail orders that you needed to send stuff, or the bank was connected to the post office or whatever. And Black people then were having trouble getting, because you'd pay via like a mail order or something. And so then they had to put in the Sears catalog for people of color. If you need postage, take this to your actual mail carrier and then the money for the stamp, and that way they'll do it for you.
Good for Sears.
I know!
Thank you, Sears.
Who knew that they were making it so that people of color could buy the crap they needed?
Who was running Sears at this time?
His name was Sears.
Oh, well,
it's just the last name.
Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Sears.
He was a good guy.
Yeah, man. And also a smart businessman.
Right.
Because guess what?
He saw an untapped
people
market.
Of color needed to buy stuff.
Duh.
Right. And
I mean, come on.
And like the truth is, everyone was using it. Even like the bigots who hated the fact that it allowed people of color to buy things. So it just was a successul business model, and screw those idiots who tried to stop them.
Yeah.
Isn't that a cool story?
Going under.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's like the time is over, and we've moved on to different ways of doing business. But for a time, it really solved a problem.
Didn't Sears, was it maybe, no, it's probably, who has the Kardashian line?
Oh.
Is it JCPenney?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, it is. And they've had a lot of problems too, although I love pennies. But, I mean, they're kind of just like all dying out because everything's been updated and, as we say, automated, which we love, but there's like a price to pay for that.
Yeah, and I do like that all these more like small companies are emerging for this big.
That's the good part. But like, I do miss them all. Like,
Do
I know
you?
there are malls around, but
they're
like,
not the same.
When I went to Pittsburgh, when my brother was with me, he was like, "You want to go to the mall?" I'm like, "I totally do." I was just thinking that because it's what it takes you back.
Did you have a favorite store that you shopped at when you were younger and went to the mall?
Oh my God, like Hollister.
Oh, that
I was
you,
real
huh?
big. Like, what's that other one? PacSun. And then what's that one that Aeropostale?
Oh, yeah. We shopped at different stores.
Of course. Where were you? Hot Topic?
Yeah, for a while, definitely. Oh, for sure.
What else? For sure.
Wet
Spencer
Seal.
Gifts.
No, that was too weird for me.
Wet Seal's a good one.
Wet Seal,
I think that's
Contempo
where
Casuals.
Yeah.
Like when I was younger.
When I was super young, there was this really weird store, and I'm sure like the listeners that are my age will remember. It was called Units. Have you ever heard of this? It was really weird.
Yeah.
Where like everything was solid color, and it was like in packets, like almost like a sewing. What are those things called?
Like the pattern.
Yeah.
Yes.
Those cardboardy like paper things.
Yeah, patterns.
And everything was like set up in this weird way. I guess they were trying to be different or something.
Yeah.
And then you could like mix and
they were
match.
before their time. Because that would totally work now. Could you imagine if it were like a little... You could almost have like a vending machine.
Yeah.
This would work for like white shirts and like your basics, and you just go and it's like...
And you could like mix and turn items from... It's a skirt, it's a shirt, it's a thing. It's like, it was weird like that.
Before their time.
Before their time. Yeah. Another company that's before its time is called Holly & Tanager, which has the backpack purse for the new professional. I mean, I've been looking through their stuff, and I actually can't even decide which one I want, because as we talk about, I've become like this bag lady, and I like to have, like, even when I traveled, I was like, I have exactly what I need, and like, you need different things for different experiences. And I think this is such a perfect thing if you want to be organized.
Love it.
If you like maybe go to work, but then you go for drinks after, things like that. They basically designed the professional backpack tote to live up to the needs of on the go, in the know, jet setters, like us, trendsetters, extraordinary women. And basically it converts from a backpack to a tote to a crossbody bag.
That's everything.
Which is really cool. And it's basically, like I said, designed to take you from work to play to do whatever. And it's stylish and durable. It's Italian leather, which I'm obsessed with. And it can fit like your laptop, your iPad, whatever, tennies if you put them in the bottom compartment, or a wine
There's a
bottle.
bottom compartment.
Yeah, like there's one of those.
Oh, I
you
love
love
that.
those.
Oh, I love that.
Sarah is
I
obsessed
love
when
a
bags
bottom
have
compartment. Yes,
a
I love
separate
it.
area.
I don't know why I love that so much. I feel like this could also make a good diaper bag that's stylish.
Right? That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. And let me tell you, there are not many.
No, there are not.
In addition to the professional backpack tote, Holly and Tanager offers other extraordinary everyday bags you don't see every day. And as a Brain Candy listener, you get 15% off your first order. Visit hollyandtanager.com/braincandy and use promo code BRAINCANDY at checkout. Then show me what you buy. Like, tag me so I can see what you get. That's hollyandtanager.com/braincandy, and it's promo code BRAINCANDY at checkout. Okay.
Did you hear about the emoji bagel fiasco?
Yes.
This is great.
Okay, well, what do you
Tell
think
me what
about
you heard.
Okay, well, originally they had the plain bagel cut in half.
Yeah.
And then people were like, WTF.
They're like, this is the most, what did I see? This is the most
Gentile
Gentile bagel.
bagel.
I was dying at that.
Why, though? Because I'm not Jewish.
Yeah.
I know people eat cream cheese on bagels, but it's not like, what is the big deal?
It just looks, I get it. Because, like,
Make a
you
comparison.
don't eat, okay.
Oh,
okay.
it'd be like an ice cream cone without the ice cream on top. Or not. Like, what would be the equivalent for us
I would
Gentile
think it would
type?
be like toast with no butter or jelly.
Right, just like a piece of toast.
Just like a piece of bread.
Yeah.
And it's like, here, there's toast. Well, no, it's not. You're missing like half the thing. It's like, you got to put some butter on it. and
Or
jelly.
like pancakes without syrup.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Something like that.
I get that.
Yeah.
I can't imagine caring,
Correct.
but I get it.
Yeah. I think it was more like Philadelphia cream cheese that was like, hey, on, you can hop on this. And
Right.
Yeah.
And so then all they did was just add like white schmear
yes. Oh, good.
on the same emoji.
Yeah.
And now everyone's happy.
Happy. Like,
Are you happier?
They recalled the emoji and changed it. Can you believe that?
I kind of can't.
I can't either. Because think about how we've talked so much about the process of like getting an emoji and people who are like petitioning for things like that. I did see in this article that I read about the cream cheese emoji or a bagel emoji that the very last line was like, if you are one of the people who took the time to sign the petition to add cream cheese, then you better frickin' vote.
Such a good
If you have time to do that, then you definitely have time to vote in our election. Make sure you do.
Have you ever, you know how you see like on the voting days, they'll say like, there's a 3-hour wait at this polling place. Have you ever experienced that?
No.
What is that?
Because I live in a neighborhood that's where it's not like that. And what they do, that's part of the, like, kind of like fits in with like the gerrymandering thing.
Yeah.
Where they'll limit polling places to areas that have.
Oh, so they won't have as many
Yes.
and like a million people have to go to
Yes.
this one place.
Correct.
Oh my goodness.
And they usually are not in neighborhoods.
Well, right. It's not in Coda de Casa.
Correct.
Right. Oh my God. So
Yeah.
then as a result, people that really don't have 3 hours because they have to go work for
Exactly.
minimum wage
Yep.
will have to choose.
Yep.
I see. Because I always see these pictures and I then go and there's nobody.
Go ahead and blame the patriarchy for this one.
Right. Probably some white guy did
Yep,
it.
probably.
Well, that for sure.
Yep.
But I guess is it local government though that's in charge of the poll, or is it the GOP? And I don't know who's
I don't know
dealing
either.
with
but
that.
I've definitely heard these stories before. I feel like a lot happened in Arizona recently where they closed a bunch.
yeah.
New Mexico. Like I've heard, this is happening.
Right, for sure. I just didn't quite get
And they're like, we gotta. That's why it's important to like volunteer and sign up to do those things.
yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to my friend M who is volunteering that.
But can you volunteer in other areas? Like not, I
I
mean,
bet you
in the
could.
poll
I bet you could.
area. Because I wonder, do you have to be in that jurisdiction?
That's a good question.
Or whatever. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Well,
I just
that's
did my
part of the
mail-in
problem
ballot.
is people, we don't know.
We don't know. Right.
Right. Yeah, but that's a good point. If you're getting worked up about emojis, you got enough time to go to the
yep.
poll.
Totally.
I don't think it is the same people, though.
Who are voting.
Like, I think
and
those people probably would vote. Don't you think?
the cream cheese people? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, they like to have their voice heard. That's what my sense is, anyway. Did you read about the man-sized Kleenex controversy?
What?
I never heard of these.
Like an actual Kleenex that's bigger is supposed to be for men?
Well, it's called man size. I don't know if it's for men, but I think it's been around a while and people got mad and so they're changing it now to extra large.
Yeah.
But like, well, okay, tell me your thoughts.
Man-sized is like kind of fits into that same thing as like if you were to look up the definition of masculinity in the dictionary and it would say like tough, strong, like all those words that, you know, don't fit with how a lot of men feel. Mm-hmm. Like to say something is man-sized, there are a lot of men who are my size or smaller or like something that's like, I don't like it, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's saying that like, you know.
Yeah, I get it. I don't care. Like if somebody wants to call them that, it wouldn't have bothered me. But
if then we like, but where would you draw the line? So if we could say that like that's a man-sized Kleenex, is this a man-sized table? Is a large coffee a man-sized coffee? Is a bigger couch a man-sized couch? Is a like where do you?
Yeah, so I don't think it was a wise choice.
Yeah, right.
But like if I had seen it, I would have probably just chuckled and been like, "Oh, that's stupid."
Yeah, and they're just trying to advertise too.
That's the only
Here's the deal. If they charge more for it and the men are buying it, I'm fine. Because we've been doing that shit for years. I've been paying more for razors, dry cleaning.
Tax, yeah.
The pink tax. Yeah. So go ahead. Pay a little more. Blue tags, or whatever it is.
Yeah. Somebody tweeted and was like, hey, Kleenex, my daughter wants to know like why you're pretending like these are for men. Like, I don't get it. And they just said, we're changing it. We're going to call them extra large. Yeah. It was just probably an unwise marketing move.
Yeah.
But, like, it doesn't get me too worked up. But I see your point. Like, if everything was marketed that way, I'd be like, what is happening?
Right. It'd be weird. Mm-hmm. So you just got to, like, kind of step back and look at the bigger picture of, like, you know, no, it's not something to, like, get worked up about. But
this is changing the subject, but something I noticed when I was in Pittsburgh around others.
I love when you say that. And I had to be around humans.
Sarah, you must think about this too. Like, what do you think it's like in a room without us?
Oh, I do think about that. I think about what my group supervision at school is like if I'm not there.
Tell me what you think, because I'm thinking it's real quiet.
That's what I think. But then somebody's got to step up and be like, is that it?
I don't think they do it, because I was not in the position I normally am where I'm up for being that person. And so I saw a bit of it where people are just fine staring at each other and like being in silence. And I was like, why do they want to even come out if nobody's going to talk?
Yeah, I was once, after I had my miscarriage, I was real sad for a while. And I was in class, and usually I'm like answering all the time, raising my hand. I went for like a month. I didn't answer a single question.
And it was probably kind of weird and awkward, right?
Yeah, kind of.
Because there'd be times when no one was answering.
Right.
There was a girl who I love in my cohort in grad school, and in 6 years, literally didn't say one word in one class ever. Mm-hmm. And I was mad because supposedly class participation is part of the grade. Yeah. But like she's brilliant and nice, and they didn't punish her. But like, I just felt like it was unfair to me.
Mm-hmm. You're like, I want extra credit.
Yeah, why am I doing the heavy lifting here? Right. Just because I hate dead air and don't want silence.
That's totally true. Yeah.
But if you like can get over it and just sit with it, it's kind of fun.
To just watch?
To watch them either squirm or not in the silence.
I do kind of do that. Like I'm trying to be better. Like I just get so excited in my supervision to talk about everything and to like, you know, I'm excited about what other people are doing in their sessions, and I just love, you know, so I'm trying to let like other people kind of.
Okay. Yours is more like you want to talk.
Well, I do want to talk, but I also know that I need to let other people talk in there too. And so I'm really trying to make an effort to be like the last one to answer, or, you know, let other people share first. I just get so excited. You know,
mine's not like that. Mine's just like, I feel like I
you
have
to save
to.
people.
And yes, obligation.
Like a
And so I get mad eventually where I'm like,
I do that.
it.
It's different in like, what we're doing in like a group supervision with other therapists. It's kind of like, there's only like 5 or 6 of us in there and we're just chatting about, stuff.
Yeah.
And in a classroom, it's different. I've definitely experienced that where I'm like, really? None of you guys? Like, I gotta, rescue you. And then sometimes people will say things in class and like, I'll understand what they mean, but no, people are like, huh? And I'm like, I think what she's trying to say is, and I like, I want to like help, like, and they're like, yeah, that's exactly it. I'm like, yeah, I got you. Don't worry.
Right.
But it's kind of like rescuing people.
You see like on Facebook and stuff, sometimes there'll be like memes or something about like introverts.
Yeah.
They like posting those
Yeah.
about like how they're really not, I forget what they freaking are, but they're like trying to say that they annoy me is what I'm getting.
Oh, I love introverts.
No, I like them. I don't like their memes.
Oh,
about
okay.
how like, what are they trying to say? Something about how you're like, I love introverts. Something about how
Underappreciated group.
they, like they like to talk.
Mm-hmm.
They just don't like small talk.
Oh,
Well, guess what? Too bad, number one. And number two, how do you think you get to the other
Right.
stuff?
to be honest, nobody likes small talk.
Of course.
I hate small talk, but you have to get, yeah.
Well,
you
I think there are some
media
idiots who love small talk, and I hate them too. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, I think we're all just like trying to get through this life.
Yeah.
And like in order to get to the deep stuff, you got to talk about the weather first.
Yeah, you do.
And it's nice.
Mm-hmm. You got to warm up. You can't just go, just jump
Why
into
do they
the
hate
deep
it
end.
so much, though? Like, what is the big deal about it?
I think sometimes I think it takes more emotional energy to connect. So, like, we've got a longer fuse, kind of, or we've got a longer or more of that, like, I don't know, energy reserve.
Yeah.
So if small talk, say, takes 20% of our energy, then we still got 80% for the deep stuff.
Right.
If small talk for them takes 80% of their energy, they're, like, almost done.
Okay, but it really shouldn't. Like,
Yeah, but,
it can be like almost a script.
it could.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
not like you got to make up new crap each time.
That's true.
So,
Yeah.
I don't know. Introverts, weigh
But you
in.
know what? Hey, thank goodness for those introverts, because could you imagine being in a classroom with a bunch of us?
No. Well, yes, I can, Sarah. It's called The Challenge. It's terrible.
Oh, you're right. Oh,
It's terrible.
my God. Could you imagine a classroom with you, me, Johnny, Evan, Devin, anyone who would, the teacher would not get a word in.
No. Yeah. It's
Oh
terrible.
my God, it would be insane. That would just be funny to videotape and watch.
They're not just extroverts. I mean, there's narcissists
Yeah.
in the mix there too, but it would be terrible. So you're right. I mean, I do appreciate that there are all different kinds of people in the world.
I am very appreciative
I just don't like
of that.
their memes.
It's like that's some, like all those ones that say, yeah, like you're either an extrovert or you're an introvert. Well, really, we all kind of have everything in us.
Yeah.
And it's whatever mood we're in that we're going to, I don't know, gravitate towards whichever meme, we like at that moment. But people like
True.
the out-group, in-group thing.
Yes,
I think that's it.
totally.
Is they're like, oh, I am an introvert and I don't, So
Yeah.
they like that. People like that.
Right.
I like that.
I like you. We're done.
Oh, okay. I like
Did
you
you
too.
enjoy this one?
Sure did. Can't wait till next time.
See you next time.